Hi guys, this is Annie. I hope you all are doing great tonight. And tonight I have this fun manicure for you, which is the Granite look. So let's get started. And these are the items we will be using in tonight's manicure. I'll go through them very quickly for you, but they will also be listed in the description box with all the details. So here for my tools, I have a wax pencil, two brushes, one for cleaning up and one for using my alcohol ink in. I also have two Sharpie markers in the color of green and purple. I have some alcohol, my fast drying top coat, and some non-acetone nail polish remover to clean up around the fingers. I also have some jewels, my alcohol ink by Adirondack, and some nail guides together with a nail polish palette. So now that we have everything ready, let's begin. All right, so here we are. Tonight we have a very fun manicure. I am very excited to share this with you guys. It's actually like granite nails or stone nails, if you want to call it that. And there's actually two ways of doing this. The first one did not work for me, and I realized why, and I'll let you know what it is. As you know, a lot of people is doing Sharpie pens and alcohol manicure. I have tried that to get this stone look, and it's not working because I don't like using gel polishes. I don't like to have to soak that off all the time, so I really like to stick to basic regular nail polishes, and that's why the Sharpie pens were not working for me in creating this look. So I went and I tried to figure it out. What should I do? What should I do? And then I realized, oh, I still have Adirondack ink from when I made my jelly polishes. So I pulled those out, and it so happened that this worked perfectly with this manicure. So if you're not familiar with this is an alcohol ink, and it's very safe to use on regular nail polish on your nails as long as you have a base coat on there to protect your nails from drying out. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So I do hope you guys enjoy this, and for those of you who are like me and prefer not to use the gel polishes, this is perfect. And the color I'm actually doing, if you could see that, it's gray, and it has a little hint of green in there, and also a tiny little hint of yellow, just by using this one color, which is like a really misty gray. So for my base color, instead of using white, I actually went and I used a gray, and this is China Glaze number 952, and it's called Pelican Gray. And I put one coat of that only. As you could see, there's lines and stuff going through. That's because it's such a thin coat. That's all you need, because the alcohol ink is going to do all that detail work for you, as you could see here, to bring out that granite look. And here. And the one thing I like about this is they're not going to be similar. Every one of them is going to have a little unique look to it. So that's what we're going to do, and it's very simple. So here I am. Again, this is gray, and I am going to put some alcohol in my little palette here. If you don't have one of these, just grab like a little dish or something. You can put a little bit of alcohol in there, and also another little spot here for the Adirondack ink, and I'm just going to put a couple drops to start off with. You can always go back and wait until your nail polish is thoroughly dried. Mine is completely dry, so I'm doing two with the full granite look, and then I'm going to do the accent nail with a French and rhinestone look. So let's do the granite look first, because those have to be completely dried before you go ahead and apply your top coat to that. So it's very simple. You just want to take your brush, have a napkin handy because you're going to have to dab some of the liquid out. You just want to take the brush, soak it into that clear alcohol just to wet it, and then you're going to pick up a little bit of the alcohol ink. Just wipe the excess off, as you could see me doing here in the corner. And basically, you're going to hold the brush in whatever pattern you want to create and just dab it on. I'm just going to randomly dab this time. I'm not going to put it in lines or anything. Just dab it on, and it dries quickly. Doesn't look like much yet, but just go ahead and keep dabbing it. And as it's drying, you'll start to see those different shades coming out of green and yellow and all of that stuff. So just keep dabbing it and covering that gray. And once in a while, if it looks like there's just too much liquid on your nail, go in and give it a tiny little blow just to dry that ink off. And as you can see, it's starting to come in. You know what? Let me bring my nail up so you can see this better. So here we go. As you can see, it's starting to come in. And I'm just going to continue working that ink in. Whatever's too dark, I'll show you how to fix that. So you're just moving around the ink basically. Moving it, moving it, moving it. And it's starting to come in already, as you could see. So once it's very dark, as it is now, here's what you're going to need a napkin for. Just blot out some of that color and take the regular clear alcohol and go in and do the same thing. Just dab it and you'll see it starts to lighten up. It's a little work, but it looks really, really good. It does look like granite. As a matter of fact, I have the same color countertop and I put my hands down on the counter and it was so funny. It's like my fingernails just totally disappear. I was very impressed of how well it came out, especially for the first time. It's so easy. Again, I'm going back into the clear alcohol, and this time I'm going to see if I can wipe some of that. And this, now you don't see anything happening because it's very wet, so I'm going to blow it again and just put a little air on it. It is alcohol, so it's going to dry very quickly. And once that's dry, then you can go back in and create darker or lighter areas. So I want a little more lighter areas. So here I go, and as you can see, it's lightening up already. And just move it back and forth. Blow it again. And I have over here, as you can see, it's too much gray, so I'm going to go in with my regular dark alcohol and go back, dab it in. It's very, very simple. It's surprisingly simple. Like, I had no clue it was this easy to do. And the alcohol ink works great. There's no reaction. If any of you are concerned that it might burn or sting your nails or anything, I don't have any reaction to it. I wouldn't put videos out here for you guys to hurt yourselves. But yeah, I was very impressed of how well this Adirondack ink is working on this, because I've seen it done with the Sharpie and it looks great with the Sharpie, but Sharpie does not stay on the regular polish. It doesn't mix. Even with the alcohol, it doesn't mix. So the Adirondack ink is really, really great. The alcohol ink is very good for this. So here's that one. Here's the original one I did before. And like I said, both of them, you can have them look as different as you want, or you can have them look very similar. So here they are. And now we're going to do this nail. We'll let this dry completely. When I top it off with the top coat, it's going to bring it out. Right now it looks dull and you can't see too much of it, but once we apply that top coat at the end, it's going to just bring everything out, and it really does look like stone. So let's do this one again. It's so simple. You're gonna just dip the brush in the alcohol and get that nice and wet. Dip it in your ink and blot. Now this one I'm going to create lines so you can see how easy it is, like this. I'm going to do it for the opposite direction. So I'm holding my brush and I'm just pulling. Just pull a whole bunch of lines, short lines all over. Make sure it's dried. I'm going to blot this. Take some of that excess out. Blow on it so some of that alcohol can mix. So that's very light. As you can see, it's going to come in. I'm going to dip this now in my alcohol ink alone. Make more lines. Keep blowing on it if it's too light, so you can apply more or less, like I said. So let me blow on this again and dry this up before we move on. That's already dry, so we can go back in, create more lines. And once you start creating more lines, it's going to blot out on its own. As you could see it happening right now, it's blotting out on its own. And that's what's going to create those natural stone looking lines. You don't want the lines to be perfect, because if you do look at stone, they never have like really straight, perfect lines. So just go in and blot it in now. See how that one opened up in the end there? So now if you want to keep it in lines, you just take your brush and gently move back and forth with it like I'm doing. So I'm going to blow on this because that's really a big bubble that opened up. I mean, I can leave it like that. It does look good, but since it's already a bunch of little details on top, I'll do the same for the bottom. So I'll let that dry. Go in. You don't want to touch it. Don't go and try to touch it because you'll make fingerprints on it. Just let it dry naturally with the air and your breath, and then just go in, and there we go. We have more lines in there again. So it's very easy to create, and it's really hard to mess this up. So there's that one. Let me show you. And I think it could be like a little lighter now. So I'm just going to go in now with the regular alcohol ink. Clean my brush out a bit. The clean, clear alcohol, not the alcohol ink, just the alcohol. And just take a little on the brush and just swipe. Very gently. Very gentle to the touch. Not too hard. Swipe and dab. Very gentle to the touch. And that takes off some of the color. And as you can see, there's purples in there. Let me bring it up closer so you can take a look. But there's almost like a little purple, and that color ink mixing with the gray background looks a little bit like green in there as well. And you could see it better on these nails that are done. And this is the one we just did together. See how well that one dried. And like I said, once we apply top coat, that's really going to pop. And here's the pinky that we done. So the next thing I want to do now is the accent nail. And I wanted to break it up because I had all of them with the stone look, and it was just too much. So I end up doing this silly little thing here, and that actually came out to look really well. So we'll stick to that tonight. So for that, I am using my nail guides because, like all you guys know there, I am not good with painting freehand. So I'm going to use my nail guide, and I actually used the triangular one here. And because it's alcohol ink and it's so liquefied, it seeped underneath. But we fixed that, as you can see, so I'll show you how to fix it here as well. So let me grab one of these little things. Well, these have to be dried very thoroughly before we apply the top coat. If it's not dried properly and you try to apply the top coat, it's really going to smear the entire thing. So wait a while before applying the top coat. And we'll line this up about there. Let me make sure it lined up with the other one. You know what? I'm better off using my fingers, I think. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about the line it'll go to. Maybe I'll bring it down just a little bit for that peak. Yeah, I should just do it with my fingers. I think it's going to be easier to handle it. There we go. That was faster. Now I'm going to try again to see if I can... Right. There we go. And make sure now you don't want the alcohol ink to seep through too much. In the ends, that's fixable. But if it goes all the way down here, yeah, we're going to have to probably do the whole nail. So just really press on this and make sure it's down and secured properly, that there's no bubble. And let's do the tip the exact same way like we did the others. We're going to do just the tip. So I do need a little more of the Adirondack ink. 1 drop should be fine. And let's do the tip. A little wet my brush again in the alcohol. Then I'm going to pick up the ink and just blot it. So we blot this one all the way. I'm going to use my stand so you can see what's going on. And as you can see, that one doesn't look like much. So here we go. We're going to make it look like something now. Just keep blotting on it. And as you can see, it's starting to come in. It starts to look like stone, like granite. Granite, if you want to call it that. Some people say granite, some people say granite. It looks like a stone. There we go. We'll say it looks like a stone. I'm going to pick up some clear one to lighten it in some spots like that. Blow on it a little, get that excess off at the tip there. I think I want to add back now some dark colors here and there. Let me just match it up with these, and it looks good. So now we'll take this off and see if we had anything going on under there. And yep, as you could see, it leaked. So that now, this is where we're going to cheat a little, guys, okay? This is where we're going to need that purple and green Sharpie. And the reason I chose purple and green is because in here, it actually has hues of purple and green, even though we use one color. So basically, we're going to take the green, let's go with the purple first, and just line it out gently. Do not press too hard. Just make a nice, neat line. If you can see this, I'm making a nice, neat line here to make it look complete. Do it again. Very good. Right, so now that we're done with the purple, as you can see, it looks a little bit too bright. So that's where I'm going to go in and tone it down with the green. So whatever color you decide to use on the stone look, you can go ahead and grab the Sharpies just to clean that up and make it look, you know, completed. So I'm going in with the green, and once I mix it, it's going to start getting that really dark hue in there and kind of blending in with the manicure we just did. And if it looks a little bit too harsh, we can go right in. I'll show you how to fix that as well. As you can see, this one is looking a little too harsh. So at this point, I'm going to go in back with the alcohol. And you'll see what I'm talking about here now, because like I said, the alcohol and the Sharpie pen does not work together on regular nail polish. So that's not going to change. But what we're going to need to do is kind of blend it in with more of the Adirondack ink here. So get another drop in here because that's dried already. And we'll see if we can blend it in a little and keep it neat. So here we go. I got my little brush again. Dip it in the clear one, and then I go back in the dark and kind of going right over that and blending it in. So it softens it up a little bit. It's not a big wide mark there. And that kind of blended it in a little. If you can see, I'll put the stand up again so you can see what I'm talking about. And of course, if you're good with striping brushes and nail polish, you could even go ahead and get a nail polish that you think would work well and do it with that. Like I say, I'm not good with those little brushes at all, so I decided to cheat and use the Sharpie pens because I know the Sharpie pen was not going to run on the nail polish with this particular regular polishes. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and apply our jewels. And tonight I'll be using my little black rhinestone jewels here that I have on the set. We'll be using 3 of them. And if we can get it open, that'll be great, guys. So here we are. Finally fought my way through opening that one. And of course, I'm using my handy dandy little wax pencil. You can use a tweezer if you don't have one of these. If you do work with little rhinestones and jewels a lot, though, I do recommend getting yourself one of these. It's amazing. And I have my favorite top coat, which is the Out the Door product. So I'm going to apply a nice super thick coat of that on that accent fingernail there. And we'll apply the jewel. Now you have to be very, very careful when using the top coat. As a matter of fact, let me just check something. I'm going to wait on that one. I'll apply These are completely dried. You don't want to apply the top coat on them because it pulls and it'll drag the image, and you're not going to have that stone look. You're just going to have a smear look. So let's give this a couple more seconds to dry completely, and by the time we'll go ahead and top coat the 2 nails that's completed already. So if you could see this, it's nice and loaded. And the same thing like when you're stamping, you don't want to swipe twice over the same area. Do not press on the brush because you will swipe up and mess up that image. And cap your nails. That really helps to prevent wear and tear and chipping, like I always mention. So go very light on that brush. Do not press too hard down. And I'll put a little extra on the sides especially. And let's do it to the pinky nail, and then we'll come back to that ring nail there, that ring fingernail. And I actually smeared it with my finger here, so I'll just gently go over that. Now I have to go in and see if I could smear it now to fix it, because my finger touched the tip of it. I smudged it just a little, but I took the top coat and mushed it up a little, so it's not too bad. So let's finish this one now. Again, I'm making sure my brush is nice and loaded. And then we'll apply those little jewels as we did here, 3 of them. Put the first one down in the middle so we can have an idea of where the other 2 goes. Give it a little tap, make sure it's secure in that polish. And then we'll go ahead and top coat this again. And I like to press it down because that really locks it in. When you press it down and it's really in that polish, that locks it in. And then when you top coat on there and you put a nice thick layer, that really keeps it from falling down. And as I mentioned in all my videos, if you really lock this stuff in, it can last a week and some. I've already had mine stayed on there for a week and a half. And that's because I took the manicure out. So, and here I am applying the second layer of the top coat. And I'm going to go up on top the jewels as well as around them. Nice generous coat, so that's going to help lock my jewels in. And I'm capping the nails again. And here we have it, guys. That is our granite look manicure for tonight, or stone manicure. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video tonight. And if you have any questions, feel free to write to me and ask me. I'll answer them as best as I can and as fast as I can. I'll respond to you. And thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe for my upcoming videos as well. Have a good night, everyone, and thanks for watching. Bye now.